What's going on, everybody? I'm saying everybody, no one's here yet, but I don't know if you can hear me or not. But yep, I can't sleep. So I figured might as well live stream. Who else is up? Still nobody in here. Man. Well, I will give it till the 2-minute mark. If no one comes in, I'll try and go to bed again. Yeah. So, I'm in Orlando. Wait until the morning. Gotta change out a starter. I don't feel like doing it in the dark and in the rain. So, that's what I'm doing. Oh, we have one person here with us. Who are you? How you doing? Where you at? Yeah, like I was saying, I gotta change the starter out in this Sterling tomorrow morning. Yep, didn't feel like getting a hotel for the night, so I'm here in the day cab. Used to being up all night, so it's hard falling asleep. Fishing trucker, it's me. I'm home in Michigan. Oh, I bet it's freezing over there. Fun times. What part of Michigan you in? I don't know if you knew this, but I lived in Warren for a little bit. But back to the plans for tomorrow. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be changing out the starter. This thing, I tried turning it off. It's been in the high 40s. Well, that's not bad. Every time I turn it off, it's having a rough time trying to restart again. So I live in Grand Rapids. Oh, okay, I know where that's at. Nice, man. But yeah, the truck's been kind of hard to restart. So from the feel of it, it feels like the starter's pulling too many amps, and it's basically done for. Which doesn't surprise me, because one of the other day cabs we have, that's the VIN number is only 2 numbers off from this one. Same thing happened to it. Changed out the starter and it was great. I did just put 4 batteries in this like not even a month ago, so I know it's not batteries. I cleaned all the terminals on it 2 days ago, so I know it's not that. I pulled the wires off. You're almost at 1,000 subs. I know, man. I just hit over 900 today. Quite proud of that. Not really to my goal. I was trying to be at 1,000 by the new year, but hey, it still could happen. I mean, it's possible. Keep sharing the videos with your friends. Tell them all to subscribe. We're only 100 away, man. So close yet so far, man. Ugh. Yeah, it's been a pretty big goal of mine, is at least getting to 1,000 subs. You were in the 200s when I started watching. Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that was I was at the 200s, what, about 7 months ago, right? 6-7 months ago, I think. Yeah, the channel's actually growing a lot faster than I thought it would, and it's definitely been going up. I ended up getting, what was it, 100 subs in the last 3 weeks. So I think that's pretty crazy. And that definitely surprised me. I mean, the sub count's definitely been going up a lot faster. I think it's because more videos I got out, or maybe people just like them that much. I don't know. But I appreciate every last one of y'all that watch, man. It's I try and give y'all the best content I can, and try and teach y'all, well, anything really. I mean, anything pertaining to trucking. If I've been through it, or if y'all got any questions, just let me know. I don't mind helping y'all out. Like BOC, I helped him walk him through getting his getting his authority. He already told me to sub one day, and I have watched every video since. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Dirty's a good guy, man. He really is. One of these days, he can come out here, we can ride bikes together. I know I think he's going to come out for Bike Week next year. If he does that, definitely have to go riding together. Yeah, if he comes by and everything, I'll show him my little slice of paradise. It should be pretty cool. Yeah, I've showed y'all this lot before. Not too much. I mean, it's raining now. I do a lot walk with y'all, but couldn't see anything. Got a couple of trucks. My buddy's truck right there. He actually had the transmission completely separate from the motor while his driver was driving it. And that tore up a bunch of stuff. He ended up having to get new bell housing, all new bolts, everything. I'm home on workman's comp, normally in Florida every week. Dude, what happened? That sucks, bro. That really does. And by your name, the fishing trucker. Dude, you make your way out here, and if I actually find time to get off, hell, we'll have to go fishing one of these days. I love fishing. Probably do like a charter or something, go out deep sea, or hell, even just go cast a couple lines in the lake. I'm fine with either one. My big thing though is like I do not go swimming in the ocean at all. Blew out my shoulder on Longwood. Ooh, dang. That sucks, dude. Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember, but I was talking about I have a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. I did that a couple of years back and opted out of surgery just because I didn't feel like taking off work. And at that time, I wasn't as stable as I was now. So I had to keep working for the family, man. That's one of the things about owning your own business. Those kind of things, like back in the day, it was only me. So if I didn't have money coming in, the family didn't have money coming in. So didn't have quite a nest egg yet. But, damn, dude. I hope you feel better soon, man. You go into they have you going over to the orthopedic. I had 4 massive ears in my rotator. I think you mean tears. 4 massive tears in my rotator cuff, on my bicuff separated from my shoulder. Dang. Yeah, my wife actually, she had a problem with her rotator cuff also. She had to have surgery on it. And, yeah, like, every time it rains or when it's cold, she still feels it, man. Injuries suck, dude. They really do. Like, me, I used to skateboard every day. Now, it kills me getting back on the board. It takes me almost like an hour just to warm my knee up. And then once I'm done skating and back and start relaxing, I'm like throbbing for like a day. Sucks because my oldest son always wants to go to the skate park, but it is one of those like, yeah, I'd love to, but I kind of got some jobs set up, so I can't. Not big enough yet where I can just sit on my butt all the time. Surgery back in October, and they're talking April before I go back to work. Dang. Dude. Hopefully you got a side hustle going, man. Start making extra money or doing something, dude. I'd go stir crazy. I would. But you're in Michigan, so at least you get to go to like the Dream Cruise and stuff like that, go to the car shows. I don't know if you're into cars. I'm into cars a lot. all I'm doing, sitting on my butt. Damn. Gotta get moving, man. I can't lift my arm. Ron Whitby, what up? You a company driver? Oh, actually I'm a fleet owner. I go to the local car shows. Nice. Yeah, I actually drove, what was it, a 60, I think it was a 66 Mustang Fastback. It was a 66 or 67 Eleanor at the Dream Cruise about 9 years ago. That was fun. So Ron Whitby, introduce yourself, man. What do you do? Are you a driver? What's up? Nor is a bad machine. Yes, she is. Ron Whitby, I'm a company driver. Nice, what company? Flatbed. Nice, I'm actually opening a flatbed division in our company. I think I talked about that a couple videos ago. Yeah, I have it's a Florida only, just local trucking company, 4-star transport. I have never heard of them. Where do you live? What region do you normally run in? Do you run all 48? Michigan. Nice. Yeah, Fishing Trucker, he's in Michigan also. That's where he lives. Hell, I used to live in Warren. I said that at the beginning of the video also. What part of Michigan do you live in? Funny thing about Michigan, my wife keeps pestering me about moving back. What's it say? Right now, I'm shuttle running Plymouth to Toledo. Oh, that's not bad. You doing Amazon tonight? I already did. I'm done tonight. I finished at around 11:30. Dearborn. Nice. I know that area very well. I've been learning a lot off your channel. I appreciate that, man. If y'all got any like video suggestions or anything like that, or something you want to know, hit them up. Let me know what you want. Actually, for a while I ran a lot of auto parts out of the GM factory, out of Detroit, and ran a couple of, I ran a drive-in from the stamping plant also. That was almost a decade ago now. And my, my cousin, he still lives out, where does he live? He lives in Sterling Heights, but yeah, he still lives out there and everything. He's got a small fleet on with Swift, but he likes those big companies, and I like doing what I'm doing. Hey McAllen, why Florida only? I know you are local, but why Florida only versus certain miles? Is it due to insurance? Not just insurance, but the whole, how do I put this? Running intrastate is a lot easier, and it keeps the money within the state, in my opinion. I try and do a lot of things like local produce, things like that, and try and invest back into the community. But insurance-wise, yes, it's a little bit cheaper. When it comes down to it, you don't have to run apportion plates. You can run standard Florida plates. And just my whole thing when I first started my company was I wanted to make sure that, like, my whole reason for going local in the first place was over the road almost cost me my marriage, just because I was never seeing my wife and kids. So it was basically either give up trucking or go local and start my own thing. So I ended up going local, ran with it for a while, saw the possibilities, and then started my own thing. And just being able to be at home, see my wife and kids, that's mainly why I did it. I mean, I got 4 kids, and when I first started trucking, my oldest son was only a couple of months old. And that's when I left out for over the road. And him and I don't have the greatest relationship. I mean, it's better now, but it definitely could have been a lot better if I was there for him when he was a lot younger. So, I mean, my daughter and me, I was there from her whole toddler stage and everything. But my oldest son, I love the kid to death, but I wish I was there for him. I'm with the divorce because I used to be over the road, gone for 3 months, home for 1 day. Preach, man. Yeah, that's how it was for me. I was out 3 months, home 3 days, only being home like maybe 18 days a year. And that's basically what led to it. So that's sad life of over the road. I mean, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't making money, and you can't. At that point, you can't afford to actually take off. So that was the hardest part, man. And then I really learned how much you can actually make in the trucking industry, and how much the big companies were making off of you. So that's, like I said, that's why I went local. That's why I offer local to my guys, so they can actually be home with their families and make money. Wait, they want the money, but they want you home. You can't have both. Exactly, man. Exactly. And I tell everybody, if you're going to be home, if you're going to be a trucker, then you're not going to make as much. I mean, my guys are normally making about $1,000 a week minimum. So, and they're home every day. I mean, hell, I had one driver work 5 days last week and didn't break 30 hours. So, here's the toss-up. You can find decent local companies if you actually look. I'm going from what? Okay. Is there any other local guys in the conversation? Every night now, but I learned the hard way, to say the least. Yeah, man. This. One question: do we have any owner-operators in the conversation? And all the company drivers, who's actually interested in becoming an owner-operator? Ever see any of our trucks? High-speed transport, we're in Florida a lot. Not really. Then again, I'm always running at night, and I really don't look for other trucks. Do local drivers prefer gross, hourly? How do you pay? I pay by the load. Yep, I pay the drivers $200 a load flat rate. Considering after watching your videos with the truck sales guy. Oh, go for it, man. Yeah, give Mike a call. I get paid by the load. Any more than 3 is an extra $100. Nice. Yeah, depending on which load the guys are on. I mean, if they're running LTL runs, they have anywhere between 1 and 11 stops. But even in those 11 stops, they're only going a mile apart, maybe a mile to 3 miles apart. So, in all honesty, it's not bad. So, they normally get them done pretty quick. Like I said, with one driver worked 5 days, didn't even break 30 hours. So, it's not too bad. That and where he picks up is literally 2 blocks from his house. And he takes that truck home. One question: what kind of trucks is everyone driving? I know most of y'all, since your company drivers, driving those nice newer trucks. I do not know what you said, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Freightliner Cascadia. Nice. Cascadia, actually, that's the truck I was talking about a little ago of my friends. He where the transmission completely separated from the motor. But yeah, he has a lot of Cascadias. We've done a lot of work to them. We've done deletes on all of theirs, but me, I stick with 07 and older, just because I don't like emissions. When I was driving my truck, was a 2020 579. That is a beautiful truck. Hopefully you didn't have a PACCAR engine in there. That's one thing over there. I've helped Mike at the dealership with numerous PACCARs, and I cannot stand them. Bye, brother. Cummins, good man. Y'all know me, my favorite engines are Cummins. Yeah, I don't know if y'all watched the video earlier that I put out earlier this evening about just finding cheap trucks, but there is one I didn't show in there, just in case when I go and look at it this week that I do buy it. And I'll give y'all a little sneak hint. It is a cab over. No, it is not an International, but it is a 70s model cab over. It was running when it was parked, so I'm gonna see maybe if I can't get it started and work up a deal with this guy and buy that truck. I'm starting up from scratch in January, February. Been out of trucking for a decade and now getting up to speed. Oh, good for you, man. Welcome back. Truck, the only problem, it was an automatic. Dang, that killed the truck, dude. Y'all know me, I hate automatics, will not buy one, cannot stand one. Had one a while back and had nothing but problems with it. Granted, I know the automatic transmissions have come a long way since then, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. I will never buy another one again. Now, Mr. Clay, so you said you've been out of the game for about a decade. What's bringing you back? I hated it. It wanted to be a 13 speed back. Oh, for sure, dude. That's true. Welcome to the E-Logs, which really sucks because we just had to order a bunch of E-Logs to put in all the trucks because thank you, Florida, and this BS thing where they lowered it again from 150 air miles back to 100 air miles. So now I have to put logs in all of the trucks. Lenny McAllen, what's your thoughts on the Volvo? Depends on which Volvo. I drove a 670 and a 780 for a while. One with a D13, one with a Cummins. I'll go Cummins every time, but the D13 was halfway decent. Biggest thing on those is injectors and injector cups, and they're very pricey to work on. And delete the EGR as quick as you can. Fishing truckers should run reefer and use the produce exemption. That produce exemption only works during produce season in the state of Florida now. And it's not just for any reefer, it has to be for local produce. Believe me, I already looked into that also, because on occasion during the harvest season, we'll run some produce. We'll either go out and buy reefer trailers or rent some. But the money's there, we'll do it. Hence why we're starting a flatbed division. Miami is always running produce. Yes, they are, but produce exemption only works if you're actually taking it from the farm. And another one, I was debating hauling sugarcane, but their trucks are always getting inspected, and running the sugarcane, basically where you're going on those just beats the heck out of your trucks. And if I was going to do that, I'd probably get a truck that's a little bit higher off the ground, probably like an old 579 or probably like an old 359 or a W900, something probably with either a double frame or something, just so it doesn't get ragged out so fast. But yeah, sugarcane, that it is decent money, but there's a lot of runs. The company we work for with down there used the exemption running from Miami back to Winter Haven. They better look into that, man. They changed a lot of things as of this year, which I don't understand, because we've had that 150 air mile rule for forever, and now they want to change things up and change it to 100 mile. But yeah, I was very disappointed when I read that. And I even checked with, I had to double check with Florida Trucking Association and everything. They're like, yep, sorry, you got to start running logs. So that's just another expense, because I don't know if y'all know how much those e-log devices are. They're expensive. Plus on top of that, you have the cost every month. And if you don't buy into their program, you just buy it and use them, then if anything goes wrong, they will not help you with it. So you have to stay a part of their program, so that's another monthly fee on top of it with everything. I got out due to my wife, younger kids. Now the kids are grown up and single. Ran into an old buddy, and he has his authority in running F with mainly intrastate runs, mainly Dallas to Houston, etc. Oh, nice, man. Very cool, dude. Yeah, I'd hop on that, man. What kind of truck you gonna be running? Hey, been wanting to go back into my old biz, but didn't have game plan until now. Oh, good on you, dude. I don't know about in Texas, but Florida intrastate, you're allowed to run under just a DOT number, and you don't have to have an MC number if you're running single state. So that's something you might want to look into for Texas also. I ran into your channel and I feel like it's a sign. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. Head down there and bring produce back up. Nice. Now, one question I want to ask all of y'all: what other trucking YouTube channels do y'all watch? Hopefully, every one of y'all says Not Your Average Trucker. That's my guy. That and BOC Enterprise. On top of that, the Asian My Show. He's a little bit quirky, but that dude is awesome. And he's actually just as crazy in person as he is on his videos. I'm sorry, I keep wiping my nose, but dang, air vents just keep blowing air right up my nose and tickling my nose hairs. You have enough time for me to list them. Dang. Must watch a lot of trucking channels, man. Now, one thing I've definitely noticed in the YouTube trucking community is a lot of people trying to give information on something that they're just starting to learn about. I'm not going to name names, but giving out information like it's a good idea for lease purchase and stuff like that. I just want to tell every one of you, definitely look into something and research the hell out of it before you would jump into anything. Being an owner-operator included, not like a lease purchase or anything like that. But definitely do your research. Know about this truck before you actually jump into them if you're looking at buying one. I know about Cummins. I know a little bit about like Detroit, some of the Mercedes and stuff like that, but I know mainly about Cummins. That's why a majority of my fleet is Cummins. So just do your due diligence if any of y'all are going to buy a truck. Please save yourself the headache and get an oil sample done on a truck. Smart trucking. Yes, same in Texas about just DOT, but still learning about what that would save me besides the cost of filing for MCs. Wouldn't I still need the same amount for insurance? Depending. Some insurance companies don't charge you as much if you're not going out of state. You will not have to run an IFTA, so you don't kind of do the international fuel tax. You'd just be paying your state's fuel tax. You don't have to run a portion plate. You can run a standard Texas plate. That saves you money right there. And what else? You get to run under intrastate hours of service. That's another plus. I know Florida here, it's you're allowed to drive 12 hours in a 16-hour period, and then you have to do a 10-hour break, and you're allowed to do 70-hour work week as well. There's a reason why all big companies have company-sponsored lease program. They're a glorified company driving to assume all the risk. That is true. That is true. A lot of guys talk about things they do not have, they don't know, or have little knowledge. That is very true. That is so true. But yeah, I've watched a few people's channels, and they're trying to give advice on being an owner-operator, when, if you look back, they've only been an owner-operator for a couple of months, haven't had a major breakdown, and they're trying to tell you how to manage your money for it, and 9 times out of 10 they're wrong. I'm debating between financing one through Lone Mountain versus buying a cheap 10 to 15 one. I'm leaning towards 30-ish dealership. One for my first truck because limited warranty. No better checked. Yep, that is one option. I don't know if you watched the video, but my friend, he owns a truck dealership here in Florida, and yeah, same difference between them, Lone Mountain, and everything. Biggest thing's your credit, what kind of truck payment you're going to be doing, but talk with your buddy, know basically what rates you're going to be running for, so you have an idea what kind of money you're looking at coming in, going out, and everything. How many miles your truck's going to be running, what the weight of the loads are going to be. When you're getting a truck, know the gear ratios of that truck, the horsepower of that truck. Higher horsepower and lower gearing, you're going to get better fuel mileage, despite what some people will tell you, lower horsepower, higher gearing. That's not the case, because you're going to be struggling for power and running at higher RPMs. So that's one thing to look into. I think a good medium gear set would be 355 rears and at least 450 horse. I mean, you can get away with a 400 horse, but you're not going to get as good fuel mileage as a 450, just because a truck won't be struggling nearly as much to come into power. Thank you a lot for the explanation of state versus interstate. Oh, no problem, man. I actually did a video on how to get your interstate authority for the state of Florida. If you watch that and do your research, see if some of the things actually transfer over. Fishing truck, you're doing oil sample. Yes. I'm a big advocate on doing oil samples. I will not buy a truck until I do an oil sample on it, unless it is a very old truck and I'm getting it at a good price, and I can still justify buying the truck and putting a new motor in it if need be, and it's still being worth it. That's the only time I'd get away with not doing an oil sample. For example, the cab over I'm going to look at this week. I'm not worrying about an oil sample because it hasn't been started in over a decade, but that oil is just going to tell me it's already started to break down and it's old. Yeah, hopefully I end up getting that truck. It's a phenomenal deal, and I need another cab over in my life. It's been too long. It's time. Are all your trucks day cabs? No, I have sleeper trucks also. No, I only have 7 day cabs. Yeah, only 7 right now. I was actually looking at another 6, but I'd have to drive to Baltimore to get them, and then have them come back. But yeah, I decided not to do that. Just they were a good price, but I don't feel like going out of state. It's a lot more work than I wanted to do just for getting more trucks. So I ended up passing on that deal. I'm back, brother. Oh, welcome back, man. So I do not know how to pronounce that. I'm Dabla, but where are you from, man? Been around, man. I'm getting loaded now. Put a strap down. Good luck to you. Appreciate it, brother. You have yourself a good night, and yeah, hopefully you end up getting a good truck, dude. Let me know what you end up getting. I think everybody would like to know. If it was me, I'd definitely go towards buying a cheaper truck and buying it outright and having money set aside. I mean, you can find a halfway decent truck between 5 to 10 grand that needs a little bit of work, and if you're handy, you can knock most of it out yourself. Especially if you get something like, let's say 99 or older, because they're a lot simpler to work on, and especially if you get something that's a mechanical engine and not electronically fuel injected. Those are my favorite trucks, because hell, I could damn near rebuild one on the side of the road. How many trucks in total do you have? 21. I have a couple out here actually, but it's raining. Some of the drivers are home for the evening already. I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm not even tired. But it's one of those, it's dark out, my body knows I should be sleeping since I'm technically not working, so. But I didn't feel like going home just to come right back. And I have to put a starter in, so I'm waiting. I actually have the starter. It's, I don't know if you can see it. It's actually right out there on that Series 60 that's just sitting over there that we pulled out of that other truck the other day. And I'm just going to pull the starter on that because that's a fresh rebuilt one. Worked with WT Photos a lot before they were sold. Dang. Actually, here, roll down the window. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I have a guy coming to look at this Sentry tomorrow. Can y'all see that truck right there? I got the hood off of it. But yeah, we pulled the motor out of that one. They're there in Davenport. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's actually where I was a couple hours ago. I was in Davenport. Yeah, I'll probably have to do a live stream tomorrow during the daylight also. 5 to 10K auction or open market? Open market for sure. How much would you suggest to be set aside for repairs, or actually my major concerns, something major before first check, or something don't catch before call? let's see, open market, do an oil sample, know the truck ahead of time, meaning know what kind of engine you're looking for, know what kind of truck you're looking for, know what the main problems with those trucks and engines are. That way you can basically almost foresee them, look for like little signs of something going wrong. Make sure the guy did not start the truck before you got there, so you can actually hear a real cold start. That way you know if it's smoking when it first starts up, so you'll know if it needs, say if the turbo's leaking a little oil, or if your injectors are leaking a little bit, then you'll have white smoke when you first start the truck. Check like around the water pump, make sure you don't see any signs that it was leaking or is starting to leak. Check for oil leaks, I know that's a given. Crawl up under that truck, check the leaf springs, look inside the drums, look at the pads. Basically just do a good once over on the truck, and whatever's wrong with it, negotiate the price. Check for air leaks, that's another one. Once you get the truck fully aired up, if it takes a while to air up, you know you're going to be doing a compressor soon, or a compressor, a regulator, or a dryer. So take all that into consideration and just know what you're buying isn't a brand new truck. Set aside at least $10,000 set aside in a maintenance fund. Well, I guess it could sit until fixed. That is true. Run a mechanic and bring them with you. That is very good advice. Yes, it is. Another thing, when if you can, take someone with a computer that can actually scan the ECU on that truck. Make sure, like, say it says it's low miles and all that other crap, but someone could have swapped out the ECUs on that truck and it could be reading a false number. If you hook up the computer, it'll actually read off your BCM also, so it'll tell you the actual mileage of that truck and the motor separately. So if you can do that, definitely do it. Scanners are very expensive, so if you do take a guy that has one, expect to pay him. The scanner we got in there is about $10,000, and it's an extra $2,500 a month just for their software. So it does pay to have it. Which, on this truck, I have hooked the computer up like 10 times. But I'm still waiting to hear back from ABF, which I bought a bundle of their trucks and still have yet to be able to turn this idle shutoff crap off because they password protect all of their ECUs for changing certain parameters. So I'm still been arguing with them so I can turn this idle shutoff crap off and take the speed limiters off because they're governed at 65. Another keynote, next week I should be back in Old Girl again, so look forward to that. Get to drive my old International. I'm actually very excited about that. I finally fixed most of the things on her. The reason I put her down started running this one. Isn't there a back door through the password? Yes, but you got to go to the dealership. And they completely wipe out the ECU and then re-upload a base map. That is the only way to have it where they burn out the old information. And they like to charge you about $1,600 to do that, when all I'm doing is waiting on a password from ABF, which actually Monday I have to call them again, because I got to give them the VIN number and the previous truck number for each of the trucks for the VIN number and previous truck number for each one of my trucks, and because every one of them is a different password. So that's fun. So we got 5 people in here. Cool. I think this has been my most successful live stream yet, and it's funny because it's in the middle of the night. That's pretty cool. You ever look at any of the old Publix trucks? Yes, I have, but they try and ask a premium for those trucks. Last ones I checked were a couple of Cascadias, and they were asking $19,000 for them, which is outrageous, being as the Sterling I'm in and the other ones that match it, I got for $3,000 a piece. So I'd much rather buy a bundle of $3,000 trucks than spend $19,000 on a single truck. But that's just me and my opinion. As long as the trucks are good and they run good, I will drive them until they die, and when they die, I'll either put a motor in them or buy another truck. But as far as it goes, I make my money off the trucks within the first month. So they paid for themselves in less than a month. And my AC is getting warm. I think I have to recharge it in the morning. You had a single axle or tandem axle for 3K? Single axle. Yeah, these single axles you can pick up for very cheap. Because, let's be honest, not many people have a use for a single axle. But the light freight I haul with Amazon, it actually works out perfect for it. So, what other people can't use, I'll buy and make money off of it. Another thing, man, I just put a new exhaust on this truck last week, right? And there was a low-hanging branch, and my brand new exhaust tip and muffler's fine, but it bent my exhaust tip down, so now I gotta bend that back tomorrow, which I am so pissed. I just did it, the truck is looking amazing, and then that happened. I don't think I've ever seen a double axle ABF truck. I do all the time now, actually, because they started buying tandem axles in 2015. Not many of them, but they started making that transition. I don't think they bought new trucks in years, so. They have some double axles, which actually I am looking at a Columbia at ABF. They gave me a call on that truck the other day. It is a 2005 Columbia with a Series 60 and 11.1. And I think I might end up picking that truck up. I think he's asking like $4,000 for it, but I'm gonna try and get it for my regular $3,000 price. And they got a couple of Macs, which I'm going to stay away from. Do you know XXX Temptation? No, I do not. Let me ask y'all this. Have any of y'all ever considered buying a single axle truck? I mean, I have my reasoning, just because the freight we haul is very light, and after basically paying tolls on these trucks. Little pump. Yes, I know who Little Pump is. Never even considered in my mind. No, thought it would limit me on the back hauls. That is true, it does, but our main account is Amazon, and I do have other accounts with light freight, so I try not to haul heavy as much as possible. If I do, I only put it on one of the sleeper trucks with tandem axles. But now you got me wondering. That does happen. Now, being in Texas, actually, they do have a lot of Amazon locations, and if you would want to consider it, if you and your friend, say you have another friend with a truck, it just takes 3 to get actual, like, tendered freight from Amazon, but they have a lot of locations in Texas, and you can run intrastate Amazon freight in Texas also. What's the most weight you can haul on single? Gross 68,000. Always routing around way stations. No, I still go through the way stations on occasion, but used to it. Wow, we are almost at an hour. Yeah, this is definitely the longest live stream I've done just by myself. Not to mention, like, the ones I do with, like, BOC and This Guy Trucks. I think the longest one we did was 4 hours one time. Yeah, this is crazy. I think I'm gonna cut it off at an hour though. But dang, that's nuts. But yeah, the single axles aren't bad. I actually do. I have a, what year is that truck? It is a 98. It's a Volvo white Freightliner. And I don't know if y'all remember back when those were, no, not Volvo white Freightliner, Volvo white GMC. But I got that truck. It has an M11 Cummins in it. It's a single axle day cab. It's a WG64T, but that one's actually a spring ride truck, single axle, and it actually works out great for running Amazon. And how much did I pay for that truck? I think I got that truck for $2,500, and I had to do an air dryer, both rear wheel seals, a brake chamber, one of the dual air pressure gauges, and I think and the foot brake valve. But that's all that truck needed. So I had that truck on the road for less than $3 grand, and that's why a lot of people, when they say it's too expensive to become an owner-operator or anything like that, honestly, it can be done if you have, say, at least $10,000 in the bank. You can get a truck, get your insurance, get rolling if you're running single state. Get your truck, get everything rolling, and run single state for less than 10 grand. And it just baffles me. Like, even like on Convoy, on the Convoy app, you can book power only loads that are actually, you can find some lightweight power only loads you can run with that single axle and still make good money doing it. I had one buddy, I was booking all of his loads for a while until he figured it out and how to do it. So I taught him that. And he was grossing between $4,500 to $5,000 a week just running in state, single axle. using convoys trailers and running late freight. So it can be done. So he recouped his own investment in less than 3 weeks. So it can be done, you guys. But, alright, we are at an hour and 23 seconds. So I think I'm definitely going to call this one a night now. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful evening. Get some sleep. And the fishing trucker, dude, I hope you feel better, man. And I hope your arm heals, brother. Clay McAllen, I hope you're the best, dude. Hopefully you can get yourself a truck or start running with your buddy. And save up and do your thing, man, because being your own boss is definitely the best thing I've ever done. And not having to answer to anyone is definitely a plus. And I wish everybody could have that kind of freedom. So, with that being said, y'all have a good evening. Take it easy. Later, y'all.